Ah, the smell of money. At least, that's what we like to call it. The Brooks Meatpacking Plant has been operating and influencing the area for years.
Well, I'm Garnet Altwasser. I've been in Brooks since my wife and I have been in Brooks since 1966. We came here and built a feed mill and then got involved in the feed lot and ended up the rest of my career in all the different enterprises that we had with Lakeside Farm Industries.
It was only a matter of time before the area received a packing plant. Garnet talks about why Brooks made such a great place for it.
Well, the packing plant's just a service business. I mean, it processes live cattle into meat. And the only reason it's here is because this southern Alberta has many advantages to producing beef cattle. So you've got the ranches that produce on dryland range and run a cow herd, and then an area like Brooks especially had surplus forage. So alfalfa was a big crop when we came, so it had surplus forage, and this area has irrigation, and so therefore it also has lots of grain from the dryland areas. So it was just a natural to take the cattle that the ranchers grew and put them in this irrigated oasis, so to speak, and the feedlot developed. It was a good place for livestock.
The beef production process is an interesting one, and the plant didn't just produce beef either.
Inside those walls is where the dastardly deed is done. And the initial plant was pretty basic, rudimentary, but it was reasonably efficient for a small plant. We did 400 cattle a day. And so you had a place where you rendered the cattle unconscious, and then you bled them and eviscerated them. And as you eviscerate the animal, it's really a disassembly plant. And out of an animal, if I remember right, there would be about 260 different products that came out of a beef animal. You know, you went all the way from all the various meat products to bone meal and meat meal and blood meal and hides and tallow, many different products. And it was surprising how far abroad those products and byproducts would go. And then we kept expanding the what we call the harvest or the kill, and to where the next move was to disassemble the carcass. So we would ship carcasses for years and years and years, and then as the industry became more developed and butchers weren't as plentiful at the store level, then they wanted to buy more refined products. And so then the processing plant was added. And then we built a hide plant, and later on came a rendering plant where you cook all the inedible products, because there's lots of value in the inedibles. So yeah, the packing industry is very sophisticated.
With multiple expansions, it wasn't always easy, and Garnet and his partners faced many different challenges.
Financing for us was always a big issue, because we were competing against the majors. At that time, the majors were like Canada Packers and Burns and Swift, old names that had made a lot of money and were well funded, and we were just young upstarts on the block. So financing. The other thing, major, is staff, because the jobs are hard, they're repetitive. They're in the summertime, they're in a very warm area because the plant has got the heat of the cattle, then it's also got the heat of hot water, because there's tons of hot water used in the plant, so there's steam.
As the workforce grew, so did the diversity of the staff. Immigrants from all over different parts of the world came to work at the plant.
A lot of the local Canadians, they don't want to do that kind of work. I mean, there's a stigma attached to some of that. And then by the time those positions were filled with new Canadians, that evolved, and so that kind of fixed itself. But initially we had a lot of East Asians. We had Vietnamese people, we had Cambodians, the people that came, and lots of Filipinos, lots of good people that came. And then some of the eastern countries began to show up here. I guess there were jobs, and they were vacant. The plant needed help, and they were pretty good paying jobs. You know, it might be hard work, but they paid pretty well. And those people began to migrate here to take advantage of the income that they could generate.
Now, the plant is owned by JBS Canada and butchers about 4,000 head of cattle a day. As one of the area's biggest employers, Garnett had no idea how his plant would help shape the community.
I mean, that wasn't the goal at all. I mean, we just took advantage of opportunities. I guess an industry that grows is kind of forgiving. There was always more opportunity in front of us than we had capital or management to take advantage. We always joked about writing the Lakeside Book of Management, because we made every mistake that every business school can warn you of.